Hello YouTube, welcome to a new Unity 3D tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to carry on with our AI system and try to make them a bit better. So last time what we did is we made it so when they walk around and we walk up to one of them, they'll stop in the tracks. And then they'll carry on, so when we walk away. So it's perfect. One thing I want to do though is add the timer to it so when we walk up, because we're not going to jump from one area to another big area. We're going to work on that little area, finish it, move to another one. So we're going to work on it so when they look at you, they'll watch you. And if you stay there for so long, the time will tick, then it will go and they'll just leave you. And that's it. So it should be relatively easy to do, it's just a timer really. And that should be it. So we're going to open up our enemy AI script. So if we go NPCs, civilian male, female and land enemy. So we have the script we had from before here. So if we scroll down, then this is the code where we need to start editing it. So if the character's field of view is that, it'll look at it, else it'll stop where it is. Okay? So just where it stops where it is, I want it to look at the character. Why not? It'll look funny. So transform.lookat, character range, .transform. In fact, not the character range, we'll use GameObject.character.transform. So we'll use that one instead. So transform.lookat character. So when it does that, when we go up to it, it'll look at us. Then we need to begin the timer. So if, in fact we need a timer first, don't we? So we're going to scroll up here and we're just going to make another private variable, private var, and then we'll say timer int equals 100. So we can also get rid of this speed here as well, because we can also link it directly to the entity stats, so we can go and do that while we're here as well, just to even it up a little bit. So where is it? Miss scripts, entity stats. Do they all have running speeds? Yep, they do. So we want walk speed. So if we go back to land enemy AI, we've already got all the code right here. Stats.entities dot, and then where's speed here, and then put dot walk speed, and then we can completely get rid of the speed variable. So that's it. So they should walk speed now. So then we can also link it in with running speed later as well, so they'll run away. But so it'll come down here and we need to start ticking the timer down, tick, 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 tick. So up here, we'll just set timer equals 100. So the 100 is how long they'll look at you for, then and just walk away. So timer minus equals 1. In fact, we'll just put minus minus. So it's taking it away. So down here, we're going to type if timer is less than, what shall I say? Well, there's 2 into, yeah, it's always 2. Right, so if it's less than 2, then we set timer back to 100. Easy enough. And then what we're going to do is say, basically we need them to carry on. So this is the part where some people will get a bit confused, but we're just going to use a private boolean. So we'll say private var ignore char boolean equals false. So if it equals false, then they're not going to want to ignore us. So this one here, if character in range blah blah, timer equals 100, then if in range of them, in fact, we'll put it up here, or ignore char equals true. So if the character is in range of them, or ignore char is true, so if the character's in distance of them, then they'll, well, not in distance from them, they'll stop still. Otherwise, if ignore char is true, they'll do it, hopefully. So we can also put this at the beginning as well, that might work out better, because then it'll be the first thing the program reads as it scans it. So it'll come down, scan it. Is ignore char true? No, it's false, so there's wanting to interact with the character. It'll come over here, are they out of range? Yes, walk forwards. Easy enough. So come down here, when the timer ticks down, ignore char equals true. So that works great, but we've not actually got something what turns it off yet. So it's a kind of confusing code, but it should, I hope it works. So we come down, and right, it turns it on, but then it never turns it off, so no matter what, it's going to skip a character after this. So we need somewhere to turn it on. So instead of this timer here, we're going to take this out. In fact, I'm going to keep it there. So the best place I'm going to put this is in a weird place. I'm actually going to put it inside the waypoint script here, equals false. So the reason is this, is if you walk up to the character, they'll look at you for 100 milliseconds, tick, tick, tick. Then when it's gone, it'll turn it true. So then they'll just keep walking. So you could follow them to a waypoint, but then as soon as they get to their waypoint, they're going to be like, well, why is he following me? Let's talk to him again. So it gives it a little bit kind of realism. So it should work, hopefully. So if we go back and we test it. So one thing I want to show you just before we carry on is the way I test things like this one, I'm not 100% sure about, is I'm actually going to take off the ones what we've added, so they're normal. We don't actually want them in the inspector because we don't need them in there. There's no point. But if we keep them active or inactive, what we can do is we can click on the actual characters, and when it loads it, we'll be able to see what's going off in the inspector while it's happening. So at the moment, they shouldn't ignore us, they shouldn't do anything. They should just look at us at the moment. So if we run up and catch them, wow, she's fast. So she should stop, and the time is ticking down as she's looking at us, weirdly. But then she started to ignore us, she's walked off, so 100 might be a little bit less. But then we back off, and as soon as she hits that waypoint, it should make it false. Boom. Then we go up and we can interrupt her again. So she's messing up, but the other one did work. But yeah, it does work, so that's the basics of it. The next thing I want to do is actually fix this error quickly. So line 40 of weapon stats. So here, it says null, well, array out of range. So that means, line 40, it's scanning the weapons and it's finding more textures than it should. So if we go up here, I think I know why this is actually. Yep, so we've got 4 icons there when we only should have 1. So I'm going to get this wooden sword here, and I'm going to delete that swirly icon. Because if you remember in my space tutorial, if not, I got a new icon, a sword. It's in the description if you want it. I'm just going to rename it appropriately. So now that error should completely gone, and we should have a better looking sword thing now. Obviously we can't test it yet, so we collect the sword, and you see we have a much better sword now. So looks much better. We can tell if it's at the right one. Perfect. So that works, but what we need is another feature to add into the entity stats. Not the entity stats. Well, yeah, go on then. So one feature I want to quickly add, which I thought was kind of funny to do, is it will add more realism into the game. So if you imagine a game, what's an RPG style game, like a successful one of the Elder Scrolls series, for example, and you walk up to them, they'll look at you, they'll pretty much stare at you for a little bit, then they'll walk off. Then you can go up to them again and do the exact same. I want to add like a little timer kind of thing to it. So you do it once, it's okay. You do it again, it's okay again. But if you do it a third time, they'll be like, we can add the sound effects, hey, stop following me. Then maybe if you do it for the 4th time, they'll run away, be scared of you kind of thing. So that gives us a scared feature to add and a resistance kind of feature. So it should work really well. So if we come down to entity stats here, under stats we can add var spook. I'm going to call it spook meter, and it's actually going to be an integer. So like I said 3 times, we are going to do it 3 times, but every time you go up to them, their spook meter increases by 10, 20 or something. And then when it's over, say, 60, then they're going to be spooked, they're going to run away. So we need another boolean saying var. In fact, we don't even need a boolean for that, we just say spook meter will work. So land and AI, we need to boost up spook meter. So where is it? Here. So when it's less than that, we can increase the spook meter. So spook meter, well, it's actually not spook meter, it's, where is it? Stats.entities.id.spook meter plus equals 20. I don't know, you can do it anything with integers, it's alright. So plus 20 equals that, perfect. Then we need to actually say, well, what happens if it's over such and such, they need to run away. So we can come up here and above these we'll type if stats.entities.id.spook meter is more than or equal to 60, so 3 times like I want it to be here, then they're going to run away, but that's in the wrong place. So here we'll just say run away. And then we can put else if spook meter is less than or equal to 59. And the reason it's 59 is because if you put 60, then what happens when you see them? They'll either be scared or run away. It'll just make them run away. So you always want to do 1 less. It's the same with animation. So we'll just add a final bracket there. So we'll go up to them 3 times and they should get spooked. It should be really funny. So what we can do here is just put ignore char equals true. Obviously we'll eventually have to put a new one in saying, well actually we don't, we can just put it from here. So if spook meter, there, and we'll just literally put it here. So what that'll do is it'll come down, and when we look at them, they'll look at us, wait for the timer to tick down, then the spook meter will go up because you've not said anything to them. Obviously when we start chatting and add interactions, it'll get rid of it. But then it'll increase it. Then when it does it again, it'll be 40, so they'll be a bit wary, they won't do it though. Then you do it a third time, they'll get a bit spooked, so they'll start ignoring you, just instantly, and they'll walk away. But then it'll come down here, and if their spook meter is more than 60, then they're going to ignore you for good. So I'm not going to actually take it down yet, because I think it'd be quite funny if we leave it on, and players don't know about it, but yeah. So we have an error there, but that should disappear. And one thing I forgot is I never actually increased the spook meter to wherever it should have been. So the player's spook meter will be -1, but everyone else's will be 0. I never actually added it. So spook meter equals sm int. So now we have a proper spook meter. So we have our spook meter. So if we click play and we walk up to them, you'll see it'll increase in 20 when the timer ticks down and they walk away. Then we give them some time, and then we should be able to do it again. The only thing is we will have to keep clicking. Well, he's got spooked. We can use the surgeon as an example. It's quicker to get to. So you can see ignore char is on, so we'll just untick that, so he's actually going to get us kind of thing. He's sharing the same spook meter at the moment. So we're looking there, 20, look, it's increased. So he's gone to 40. Oh, he's even spooked now. So we'll give him some time. Turn it off again. I'm only turning it off so we don't have to wait for him to go to each waypoint, it'll take forever. So we go back to missed scripts, and this time it should permanently ignore us. So as you can see, he's trying to get away from us now. Oh, that didn't work so well, but now he should permanently ignore us. I must have misread my programming. So we go up and see him one last time, and there's a coin floating in the air. Mario would love that. And now he's completely ignoring us, look. He will not speak to us. This is the point where we increase them to run speed and everything. We're not going to do that yet. We don't need to. So that's all we're going to do for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Our AI is slowly building up, so we're going to have really, really cool AI. We're going to try and program it cleverly as well. So it's not going to be a basic walk forward, walk back, jump, walk forward, walk back, jump kind of thing, like old school. It's going to be really clever, so they'll eventually use cover, they'll run away, they'll turn around and attack you, they'll call for police, they'll call for help, stuff like that. All it is an if statement and putting it in the correct place. It's really easy. Thank you for watching, I really hope you liked it. Any suggestions what we should add to it next, just to slowly build it up, please comment below. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time.